YouTube? Sandy Frank here. This episode of Friday, I don't even want to call it Friday Fun because it's not a fun subject. It's more of a Friday discussion. And the news came down this week that Victor Wembanyama, one of the brightest young stars in the game, is going to have to miss the rest of the year. And who knows more because of a blood clot situation that he's dealing with. And it's a very, very, very touch and go thing with this blood clot issue because those are potentially deadly. So this is not something that Wembanyama or the Spurs are going to take lightly. They're going to make sure he gets all the best attention, medical attention, and to get the situation resolved. And what's important is his health, of course, and making sure that he has a good quality of life ahead, not even necessarily a basketball career. So very scary. And we here at the Sandy Frank channel, of course, wish Wembanyama a speedy recovery and wish him the best. But it has me really thinking this week about the dangers of investing, like actual investing in sports cards, and even in any kind of cards, but particularly sports cards, because you're investing in human beings. We could be here one day and gone the next. Life is fragile. They're also, people are imperfect. They're going to make mistakes. There's going to be things that go on. Not everybody is going to do everything the right way all the time. You're going to see bad situations come up when dealing with humans. Especially maybe some humans that are a little more immature and that have a lot of extra money to spend. Now, Victor Wembanyama isn't in one of those type of situations, but he's in the health situation where, there's people out there like Mike Trout. Mike Trout has been a big investor in Victor Wembanyama cards. He's been very public about that. And those cards took a significant hit on their, long-term value, I'm sure. And if this situation with Wembanyama, it could go, what's the best case scenario? He gets this taken care of, no side effects. He makes a full recovery and goes on to have a long NBA career. What's the worst case scenario? The man could die. And it's scary, especially if you have investing tied up into a player and something happens to them. Like, just look back at like a year ago. We were talking about this Shohei Ohtani situation with his interpreter, which kind of drug Shohei through the mud a little bit with the gambling allegations, which apparently were investigated thoroughly, and Shohei was found not to have had any knowledge of what was going on. But that stench of that, just a tinge of controversy, or the thought of the potential wrongdoing by this interpreter, we'll never know the complete story on this. All we know is what the investigators found. Did Shohei bet on baseball and use Ippei as the fall guy? I don't think so. I don't think the FBI and some of those involved would muddy themselves and make up a story here. But something like that can derail people's collections. Now, Shohei does happen to be a player that I don't necessarily have invested in. I really don't invest in sports cards. I buy cards of players I like and hope that everything goes well with them. And if their values go up, awesome. If not, I'm cool. I have a very few Victor Wembanyama cards, but um, you know, I don't really have a ton of basketball, but you know, those cards are going to take a hit. I mean, no matter what. Um, that sort of thing scares away people when you're looking at, wow, this guy's career is not a guaranteed Hall of Fame career. Something could happen. It shakes people's expectations back to reality. And when that happens, people don't want to put that kind of money into those things. And I think the most I've paid for a sports card, I think I paid like $600 for an Otani card that I really loved, that I used to have a long time ago, and I wanted it back again. And this one was a PSA 10. This was right before his cards really blew up, and I went ahead and bought it, and I'm very happy I did. But it wasn't really an investment card. It was like I really missed having that card in my collection, and I really enjoyed having it as a PSA 10. So, most of the time I just get a card when I open up a pack or something like that, or have gotten it in some sort of break. Didn't really, look at it as man, I should take money out of the stock market and put it into the sports card and retire on that. No. Particularly sports cards. Very dangerous if you think that way. Because, like we just said, the frailty of humans, the tendency of young, rich men doing foolish things with lots of money. So, getting themselves in trouble many times. So, yeah, it's scary, especially if you're a person that like there's a lot of people, like one of the biggest channels on YouTube is Sports Card Investor. Yeah, not a good idea, guys, to actually do that, sports card investing. I think you do it for fun and you're just fine. And don't spend money that you don't have on sports cards or any kind of hobby. Let your hobby pay for your hobby. I've always said that too. And, you'll be just fine. And enjoy it. Don't get so vested in a player or something that if something happens to them, you're in big trouble all of a sudden. Anyway, what is this terrible situation, this tragic situation with Victor Wembanyama? What does that do to his card prices? Well, there's only one thing that's going to happen to his card prices. They're going to come down. They're going to come down hard. And, there's going to be a point, if Wembanyama makes a recovery, there's going to be a point when the dip gets low enough towards hit a bottom. And then everything goes well with Wembanyama, and then that would be called, if you went in at the right time, that would be called buying in the dip. So, but we're just beginning that downfall of what's going to be a big dip here. And maybe there is an opportunity. Maybe Victor Wembanyama will be a future Hall of Famer. Maybe he never plays again, too. So, very scary to try to time these dips. Will I be timing the dip? I will tell you assuredly no, because I feel like there's probably you don't have to look too far to see dangers in the basketball card market. It's just not as it's not as sound as like a baseball card market, because you can see when cards hit a certain population and like the PSA reports, the cards just don't recover. And that is not the case in like Pokemon. It's not really the case so much in baseball. But amazing players, if those cards reach a certain level of pop report, they just don't recover. And there's no player that has had more rookie cards printed, I can almost guarantee you, than Victor Wembanyama, because Panini was running the presses till the cows come home this year, printing, wanting people buying Victor Wembanyama. Topps has been running all kinds of basketball sets. These are Topps cards, actually. These ones out here. PSA's probably graded more Wembanyamas this past year than probably any player in a 1 year period in history. There's a market, incredible saturation of Wembanyama with all these rookies, and now that this happens, people are going to panic. Paper hand people are really going to panic. Even a diamond hand person is going to say, these are not going to hold up as well as I thought they would. And kind of get a rude awakening and a quick realization that sports cards is risky. And hey, I'm not saying I would never buy a Wembanyama card on a dip. I probably wouldn't, though, just because the pop reports are so high, and I just don't see a lot of potential for these to really escalate again, just because there's so many. And just like, look at Luka Doncic, amazing player. His cards got saturated, and this is 2018, not 2023. Look at Zion. And Zion's a terrible example because he just ended up not being that great. But so many Zion cards got graded. Look at Ja. You look at a lot of these players since, this last few years of basketball, when there was kind of like a basketball boom and everything was way overpriced. Yeah, it's a tough one. Which is why I say, look towards Pokemon. And I'm serious. I'm not saying sell all your sports cards and buy Pokemon cards. I'm just saying Pokemon cards are much safer risk assessment than a sports card. Because, the saying goes, Charizard doesn't tear his ACL. Charizard does not get involved in a gambling conspiracy. You don't have these problems that plague human beings in like the TCG world. They could be printing way too much Pokemon, but it does not seem to be affecting it that much. You look at one of the most expensive cards in recent memory, the Moonbreon. That card has hit over 15,000 in the pop report of PSA 10, and keeps right on going up. You look at the Van Gogh Pikachu. This one just absolutely stuns me. It's an awesome card. I even have one at PSA 9, which is popped like 25,000, incredibly. And I'm not saying that's exact. It's getting around 25,000, or might have passed that by now. And it's over a $300 card. It just shocks me. You look at, card after card after card is just blowing up in Pokemon. And there's no danger of these sorts of things happening with Pokemon. The danger of Pokemon is that people don't like the game falls out of favor, and those cards are all of a sudden way overproduced. But, you don't have the potential of things going to zero like you do with certain sports cards. So this was just a video. I've been thinking about this week with Wembanyama. I hope everything's good with him health-wise. Hope he lives a long, happy life. Medical situations are very scary, and it makes a lot of people really jittery when it comes to sports cards. I think things like this really hurt the sports card market overall, and you hate to see that, but it's not really. It's the market is hurt by this, but the hurt is being caused by people maybe waking up and seeing, whoa, we have a lot of money. I have a lot of money tied up into a human being player that could be injured, and done with the career in a blink of an eye. And that scares people. And this Wembanyama news is definitely kind of a shake to a lot of people. And basketball's had a lot of shakes lately, especially with like Luka going to the Lakers, just devastating that fan base of Dallas, and just crazy. And now Wembanyama news devastating the fan base of the Spurs, and these seismic moves in sports affect card prices. So this is not an indicator. If you grade with PSA and you have a registry, just look. What are your most valuable cards? I look every once in a while, and more, the top spots are all being taken by Pokemon cards. I have a few sports cards that are up there, but like the entire top 10, it's either the top 10 or top 8 or something like that, all Pokemon cards. And I feel like I have some nice sports cards too, but Pokemon is dominating right now, and it's only going to get more dominant as people with investment type mentalities getting into cards are going to move more towards stuff that is more safe, and that's definitely the TCGs, non-sports, stuff like that, over sports. But don't get me wrong, I am not going to quit collecting sports cards. I collect them for the fun. There's no fun like collecting cards of your favorite team, getting some autographed cards of your favorite team, your favorite players. That is super fun. That's not going to go away. Just don't invest your future in cards. This was a good reminder this week. All right, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos later.